Hey guys, welcome to A Conscious Time again. Welcome to this video on powerful healing techniques, practices and resources, healing from within. So pretty excited to actually share this with you. And yeah, that's my excitement. Some people say I need to smile, but I was born with quite a serious face sometimes. Well, with a serious face, yeah, sometimes. So anyway, like I said, I'm quite excited to share this video with you guys, especially during this time. As we all know, a year into this pandemic that has gripped the world. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. Typed out a few things here just to keep me on track. I realized that as I started out on this project, or this video project, I realized that it can be quite in depth. So this is not comprehensive, but this is what's worked for me, and this is some little tricks, tips, resources, principles, learnings that are, some of them are going to be obvious to a lot of people. Other people, they're going to be pretty profound, and some might actually miss the real power in them. So anyway, without further ado, let me just jump in here to a little intro, and then at the end I'm going to just give you a little breakdown of how I implement it into my life so that it's easy excuse me, for some of these healing things to do. Okay, so as I said, I'm very excited to share this with you, and I don't normally try and self-edify myself or punt things, but I really think this is such a healing video if these are practiced. And I also look forward to other people's feedback and ideas as well to further grow from this. So anyway, and these are meant to be simple, easy, everyday practices that cost nothing and can be implemented easily too, which I'll go through, and then I'll put a description and links to resources, etc. Okay, so, and these healing processes are your God-given rights in the spirit and physical aspects, and I've broken them down into mind, body, spirit, so a holistic approach to true healing. Okay, and you are a healing house. Okay, as some of you already know that. So I'm not a doctor nor a scientist, but I will point in you the direction of resources as mentioned. And this is based on years of implementing various practices while living a super busy life. So it's not like I'm just sitting down and just meditating all day long on some mountain. I've got a child, I've got a full work day, and I still fit in projects added and over and above recording these videos. So this is slotting to a very busy life schedule. So I'll break it down weekly, daily, how you can implement these things. Okay. And yeah, I was just going to say that I've never actually felt better in my life. So as you can see, I've got a couple of grey hairs. I won't give away my age. I went grey very young, but yeah, I've never felt better. So it's also key to realize that our Western way of healing, you can even call it a global way of pharmaceutically treating people, which is ultimately treating the symptoms, and making large corporations stinking rich. So, and I think that's enough now. I think we need to take back our power and realize the healing we have within. But I'm not going to go down the road of that. That's a whole nother conversation. But it does need to be addressed, as it's so ingrained in modern society, and how we think, how we perceive what healing is. We think we can just live a certain unhealthy way, pop out to the doctor and just expect a pill just to make things right. Okay. But there's way more to that, and to be aware of that is going to be key. So my main reason for this is for everyone out there to be able to heal from within, where true healing comes from, and finding true power and peace of mind in this. So that gives you the peace of mind as well. When you are healthy, when you know you've got control as well, that gives you your health, your healing, and that peace of mind, which only helps each other. All right. Alongside physical tools. So my main reason is for this to be able to heal from within. Okay, I've said that. Okay, alongside physical tools and aids, as I mentioned, a holistic approach from diet, exercise, and everything. And I'm not negating treatment and medications that are working for people. Okay, so having said that, it does make me think of the power of the placebo. So bear that in mind if you look into placebo studies and how the placebo actually does help heal people as well. So just keep that in the back of your mind as well. Anyway, so moving on, we all know what it feels like to feel unwell. This truly affects how we perceive life and navigate through life. If you haven't seen some of my videos, I suffered a few years ago, so I know what it's like to suffer from major anxiety, health anxiety, mentally, spiritually, everything just combined. I know what it's like to just be in a dark void and you just cannot see the light through the trees or through the forest or whatever the saying is. And some of you probably listening to this maybe feeling all sorts of things in your lives right now, ranging from major depression to perhaps even life-threatening diseases. But I just want you to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. All right. Or perhaps you just want to live with a more abundance and more energy. So that's awesome. These tricks and I don't want to call them tricks. These principles and learnings will help you as well. And at this time, with everything going on, many are not in great places, as mentioned, both mentally and physically. So just a little shout out to all those out there, sending much healing and uplifting energy to you. I will say this, however, that most of what we as human beings face, if not all, can ultimately be transcended and healed. And true healing comes from within, and is subject to no power on earth. So we need to know this, and I'll unpack what I mean by that. So knowing that true power and healing is within you right now. So I've put together, as I mentioned, these holistic approaches. I'm not going to go into scientific studies as mentioned, as I would. That would take forever, as mentioned. And as I've mentioned before, science is a tool, but not an absolute. Life is ever changing. No one thing can provide absolute answers. What is true is what rings true for you and what resonates with you, and experiencing the effects for yourself, which is key. Of course, go and research further yourself using what science has to offer, but don't forget to bridge that with spirituality too. Life has to be balanced with spiritual science. There seems to be a lot of inharmoniousness with that, where they actually should be blending together. And as we know from ancient cultures, have long known of these truths and healings, which I would hopefully, people start tapping into more of that. And many of that has actually been forgotten by our modern time. We could even go further to say that many of these have been hidden from us, but let's not get all cryptic just yet. Okay, so let's crack on. So this is just a little, I'm just going to start off from the core foundation of healing. And as mentioned, true healing comes from within. Everything else are tools and aids, ultimately. So true healing is ultimately from within. Everything else, from diets, any tools or aids, outside, exterior, are the aids that enhance and do help, but you need to realize that true healing does happen from within. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of backdrop there, and I'm sure many of you have heard, which this might help, is to quantify that. Is, I'm sure many of you have heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's done pretty amazing work quantifying and scientifically showing how through vibrations, frequencies of the mind and body, we can heal from within. Very simply put, but I haven't spent much in-depth studying all his ways. I have watched a lot of what he does and seen some awesome results, and how he uses his technologies and scientific studies, etc., to actually show the quantifying results, which I find is quite helpful for people out there skeptical of the spiritual world. So yeah, he really does bridge spirituality and science quite well. Spirituality, you could call it the quantum field, which he talks about a lot, and you can see, yeah, he's obviously made quite a big impact. But I just found that's a nice bridge for people to jump into if they're overwhelmed by the word spirituality. Just check out Joe Dispenza. Okay, so moving on from that, the power you have is that you are the cause of all healing and also the cause of disease. So bear with me with that statement before you get angry or anyone gets angry with that. So disease or dis-ease is ultimately anger turned inwards. Again, bear with me with that. So A Course in Miracles talks about this. And the Course in Miracles, if you want one of the most profoundest books, maybe besides the Bible, which has been misinterpreted, do yourselves a favor and look up A Course in Miracles. It's quite in depth, but it's, beyond words. So A Course in Miracles basically is saying disease is anger turned inwards. And you connect the dots you don't just read a comment like that and go, oh, okay. You connect all the dots with different resources and everything you experience in life. So this is an empowering statement, what I'm saying here. So, and this is not a judgment, nor should it make anyone feel worse about themselves if they are in a place where they are diseased or not feeling well. Okay. Know that if someone is not in a good place, this may cause more. Okay, so I just said that. My point is just to stay open and receptive, and we'll unpack that a little bit, but not in-depthly in this video. Okay, like I said, this is an empowering statement. So once you know that you're basically the cause, and I'll link that with Neville Goddard as one of the resources about realizing how much power we have and that we are expressing outwardly and inwardly that which we believe is true. Okay. I'll unpack that a little bit more. So just to finish that off, and just before I jump into all the various practices, I just want to say that you might ask yourself, well then, how do you heal yourself? If you are the power, you are the cause. So the simplest and most powerful and profound answer is forgiveness. And I've spoken about this in my other videos. So this is the core. This is the most spiritual side. As I said, I've broken it down into 3 different compartments: mind, body, spirit. Forgiveness goes to the core and the root of everything. And this may only be for people that are really open and or suffering majorly at this point in time. Unfortunate but true, generally speaking. Unless faced with life-threatening situations or major shift in life, many people do not pay attention to this. Okay, and this may seem abstract to many, but it is without a doubt the cornerstone of true healing, as I've mentioned. And let me just unpack that a little bit before we crack on. So basically, forgiveness allows healing to begin, or in some cases take place straight away. So there's no rush, there's no time. It can take a certain amount of time. That's why you've got to practice. You've got to develop these habits of forgiving yourself, forgiving others. But it also can be in an instant, because everything actually happens in the present moment. That might sound a bit airy-fairy. Many of you do know this. Others that don't, you can always research further or check out some of my other videos or videos to come. Okay, so what is healing really? Healing is oneness. Ultimately, and this does sound a bit out there to some, but ultimately healing is oneness, back to source, where there's no separation. So as opposed to separation or the illusion of separation, which the ego is involved. The ego is involved with. I'm not going to unpack the ego, but the ego is separation and gives rise to the illusion of separateness. So in order to heal yourself, you've got to forgive yourself. And forgiving yourself doesn't mean forgiving without going too in-depthly. Forgiveness means forgiving yourself of the illusion of thinking that you've done any wrong to yourself or wrong to others. And that is a powerful statement. You cannot look through your eyes of thinking that you've sinned, that you've done wrong. Everything is a journey, everything is an experience. So you need to look at yourself from that perspective, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself of the illusions of thinking that you've done yourself any wrong or any others. Forgive yourself first and then work towards forgiving others for any wrong that you actually think they've actually even done. Okay, but I'm not going to unpack that too much. But forgiveness is a very powerful and the cornerstone and root of all healing. So this needs to be pondered and start afresh in the present moment. Let go of the past. I've talked about this in some of my other videos. There's no right or wrong, as I mentioned. And then just unpacking that a little bit further. And as I've mentioned, unity and wholeness. So going back to source, feeling that wholeness, that oneness. Okay, so again, this might only be for people that are really suffering, or perhaps not. It should really be for healing all the time, ultimately. So how to practice this is, so this is tapping into the spiritual side, as I've mentioned. I'm next going to move on to the body healing aspects we can do, and then I'm going to move on to the mind or soul, which is your bridging, so your three holistic spheres of healing ultimately. So just to further talk about the spiritual side, through meditation, I've always mentioned meditation is the most profound and amazing practice that you can truly practice in your daily life. So that is healing as well. So you can see a video where in one of my first videos I give a video on beginner's guide to meditation and for those who are suffering with anxiety, and you can actually do that in 15 minutes. So if you're practicing that in a daily or weekly basis, you can start off for 3 times a week. You can, if you want to move it to every day, it's 15 minutes a day. Okay, so, and you can include your practice of forgiveness throughout the day as mindfulness, and you can incorporate it into meditations as well. And then you can also incorporate that feeling of wholeness and oneness, which forgiveness gives rise to. I hope I'm making sense here. Through your meditation practices as well. This can coincide with body scan. Okay, so I know I'm jumping around a little bit. I'll make a list of things that you can just reference back to, where you can practice these things in a very busy schedule. So firstly, it's you can look more in depth into the forgiveness. Then you can bridge that with your meditation. Meditation takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day. You can bridge your meditation, your forgiveness with your unity and the feeling of wholeness in your meditation practice through your body scan. Okay, so body scan is a type of meditation. You can literally, how I do it, I meditate, and you can see in my video, I meditate and I firstly scan my body. Body scan is basically, in a nutshell, I'll put a reference there for John Kabat-Zinn, and he can, you can unpack that a little bit further, but in a nutshell, body scan is scanning your body with awareness, noting any places in your body that are tight or stressed or whatever the case may be. So you're scanning that. By naturally scanning your body, you naturally start becoming aware, and those places in your body do eventually start subsiding and loosening. Okay, so body scan for me is a truly profound practice. You can, as you practice more and more body scan, you can incorporate that into your daily lives. As you are going about in everything you do, you can literally start feeling your body at all stages, and that is a healing, powerful healing practice. Please believe me, look into it. I'm not going to go into the details of the body scan, but there's many benefits of it, and it just connects you also to the present moment where true power is. Okay, and then I'll just finish off some of the spiritual side here and just quickly move on to the others. Don't want to make this video too long. Gratitude as well. Joe Dispenza talks about gratitude and how that is very healing as well. Another powerful resource is Neville Goddard. There's a guy by the name of Josiah Brandt. He does some of the readings or recordings of Neville Goddard, obviously, because he's passed on. But beyond words, an amazing, gifted, touched spirit, man. So I'll put a link there at the bottom as well, to law of assumption or the power of awareness. So this is truly healing. If you listen to a lot of what he talks about is, so basically for those who are quite ill or not doing well at all, is to, can even be in a meditative practice, but the key is to seeing yourself as already healed. So, and seeing, for instance, family, friends, in your mind's eye, your imagination, that they're congratulating you, or they're telling you, wow, you're looking so great, etc., etc. So it's about healing in the present moment, not saying I want to be healed, because that's also another healing aspect to life. Your vibration and your healing is based in the present moment. So if your vibration is I want to be healed, that's your vibration. So you'll always I want. Whereas if you say I am healed, that is your vibration. But it has to coincide with your feeling and how you truly believe that. So that's why you've got to practice that and see yourself as already healed, not craving, not wanting to. See yourself as already healed. Imagine families, friends saying things like, wow, you're looking amazing. I can't believe you got over such and such. So I hope that that's a totally amazing, powerful, profound insight and information, I truly believe. So yeah, please look into that. Neville Goddard. And then affirmations are incredibly powerful, so you can incorporate affirmations into meditation as well. So for instance, if I'm meditating for 15-20 minutes a day, I've done a body scan, I do whatever applicable meditation I do, and then once I'm in that peaceful state, then I use an affirmation. I am healed, I am joy, I am love, I am light, etc., etc. You can come up with your own affirmations. Those, but they have to also be in the present moment, not I want. Okay, so that is tapping into the I am. That is what Neville Goddard talks about as well. The secret to Christ, the Bible, what people don't understand, the secret is you are God incarnate. So God expresses through you what you are believing, what you are saying, your I amness. God says, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. I am. I am. God is within you and is expressing what you are. So I hope that ties into the present moment, what you say, what you believe. Okay. Affirmations, again, are very powerful. I've put a link down there as well to, or you can check on my website. This is not maybe it's a little bit of a sales gimmick, but if you want to support, just check out some of the work there on the Etsy shop. It's called what's my shop called? Awaken Prince Co. So have a look there. And I've talked about feeling oneness. There's also a great book I'll put a link into. There's Louise Hay, Heal Your Body. That's affirmations as well. So if you've got an ailment, you look A to Z in the book, what's your specific ailment, and then there's a powerful affirmation as well. So that's incredibly powerful for people out there that are wanting to heal themselves through various afflictions or diseases. Okay, so then I'll just whiz through this very quickly, going on to the body. So I've started with spiritual. I'm going into the body, which is your more tangible physical side. Diet's obviously incredibly important. You can juice certain whole foods. It's obviously water, less sugar, less bread, vitamin D. You can get into the sun for 10 minutes a day. These are all things that you can do in a full day's work. Okay, intermittent fasting. That is something you can. I've put a link there, the 16:8 ratio, giving a full 16 hours between when you eat to your next meal. So for instance, you eat your dinner at 6, 7, you don't eat until 10 or something the next day. That just takes practice. And then 8 hours in between other meals. Okay, so that will help clear your body. Research that as well. Like I said, I put a link there. And that will allow your body to cleanse itself amongst various other valuable added benefits. Breath work, many of you probably know Wim Hof. He does the breath work. That's you can Google that. I'll put a link there as well to a breathing technique. that increases your lung capacity. It makes your body alkaline, basically, which adds healing and doesn't allow any cancers or other, don't quote me on this, but it's the alkaline state of your blood is very healing. Okay, so laughter, obviously we know, raises your frequency. That's very healing. And then not most importantly, but one of those important aspects is movement and exercise. So any type of movement. If you look at I always think of the analogy of a dam or a river that gets blocked up and it just starts festering. It's the same as the body. If you're not moving, your body, that energy is not flowing through you. And I'll put links there to Qigong, White Tiger, and I'll put a nice one to Lee Holden's immunity kit. That's a different style of Qigong he does, and that's for free. You can sign up, email subscription, and it's a whole immunity kit. Taps into the pressure points, which you can do. You've got little pressure points that can heal, activate your immunity, your immune system there and then. And Qigong itself is an amazing practice as well, so you don't have to do intense studies for Qigong to be effective. Okay, and then lastly, just moving on to the body, the soul, mind. So that's the bridge between your spirit and your body. Again, I've talked about body scan. Look up John Kabat-Zinn. I'll put a link there. Meditation, mindfulness, I've spoken about. And linking as well with meditation of the chakras. If you don't know about chakras, look into chakras. The Sanskrit for chakras means wheel. It's your energy wheels within your body. So there are meditations that are very healing with those practices as well. All right. And then music. I haven't done much study in the way of music frequencies, but 432, 528 frequencies, those are very healing. So I'd actually like to do more research on that side. Anyway, so I hope those tools and resources are going to be helpful. Honestly, these are things that you can incorporate in your daily practice. Just takes a little bit of habit, discipline, and I'll put a link description in the bottom of this video. So let me know your thoughts, any other ideas or things that have worked for you. And I truly believe and know this will help many others, many of you out there. So I hope it adds great value to your lives, and we'll check you on the next one, guys. Peace and love. And lastly, please like and subscribe.